The first time he heard the words, "Can you buy us, human?" they sliced through the chaos of the alien market like a blade. Ren froze because the voice wasn't pleading for a favor. It was begging for a life. A mother and her child stood on a rusted auction platform. Their luminous eyes locked on him as the crowd roared and traders shouted prices that felt more like threats. Ren had no money, no plan, and no business getting involved. But something inside him whispered, "If you walk away, you'll never forgive yourself." Ren never meant to stop. He told himself that 100 times later, but in that moment, when the crowd opened just enough for him to see the auction platform, everything in him froze. The market lights flickered in harsh greens and bruised purples, painting the scene like some twisted theater. Traders shouted, credits flashed, metal cuffs clinked against cold posts. And in the center of it all stood a woman with long black hair and ears shaped like elegant arcs of moonlight, holding the trembling hand of a child. Her eyes met his with a force that felt physical, a plea heavy enough to drag the galaxies behind it. "Can you buy us, human?" Her voice wasn't loud, yet somehow it cut through the chaos. Ren felt the words crawl under his ribs. He tried to swallow, but his throat felt tight, as if the station's stale recycled air had suddenly turned too thick to breathe. He shouldn't get involved. He had 73 credits, a dying ship, and a talent for bad decisions. This had nothing to do with him, nothing at all. But the colony lights reflected in the girl's pale eyes reminded him of someone he used to know, someone he could never save. The auctioneer raised his amplified voice. "Opening bid for Lot 47 Thesaurus Adult, Independent, Prime Condition. Basic human language. 500 credits. 500. Ren didn't have even half of that. Yet his heartbeat stumbled, as if bracing for something reckless. A trader shouted, 700. The woman's ears flattened back fear, unmistakable. The child made a tiny sound that didn't need translating. Ren's hand lifted before he even realized it. 800. The people around him turned, some curious, some amused, some just waiting for him to drown in his own stupidity. 900, then 950, then 1,200. Ren shouted, surprising even himself. "And the salvage rights to my Corinth class freighter registration Crow's bargain. Market value approximately 8,000. A hush rolled through the crowd. The auctioneer blinked, recalibrating. Scanners flickered, verifying Ren's suicidal honesty. Then the stamp of finality. Lot 47, sold. It felt like a door slamming shut behind him. The mother's ears lifted slightly hope, disbelief, maybe both. The child pressed closer to her leg, watching him with those wide, knowing eyes. As Ren pushed through the crowd toward the holding area, one thought kept echoing in his mind. What in the void have I just done? The station's processing office smelled like burnt circuitry and moral compromise. The AI clerk chirped cheerfully. Congratulations on your purchase. No refunds, no returns. No emotional liability. Ren rubbed a hand across his face. Feels like emotional liability is the only thing I did buy. The alien woman stood beside him, her wrist-bound tracking tag blinking red. My name, Silith, she said slowly, each word chosen with careful effort. This my daughter, Kira. Ren nodded. I'm Ren, and we're getting you both out of here. They moved through the station's dim transit corridors, staying close to shadows, avoiding patrol drones and curious eyes. Kira kept one hand wrapped in her mother's shawl, watching the world with quiet, precise attention. You have plan? Silith asked. Plan is generous, RN muttered. Let's call it an optimistic suggestion. He led them down a maintenance passage that smelled like coolant leaks and forgotten repairs. The emergency lights flickered in faint amber glows. He knelt, activating a pocket scanner over Kira's shoulder. Hold still, kid. Just checking the tag. The blue light washed over her pale skin and Ren's stomach dropped. The device wasn't a simple tag. It was a deep tissue tracking implant pressed dangerously close to the brachial artery. High-end, expensive, the kind used by corporate councils to track assets across star systems. "Oh, that's bad," Ren whispered. Silith's ears flattened immediately. "How bad?" "The kind of bad where they can track you from half a sector away," Kira whispered. "We go back?" Ren shook his head sharply. "No, not happening." Silith watched him closely, searching his face. "You help us. Why? You have no credits. You give ship. Why?" Ren hesitated. The words felt brittle in his throat. "I had a daughter once, Emma. She was about Kira's age." Silith's expression softened. Her fingers brushed her daughter's hair, as if understanding bloomed in the overlap between shared griefs. "She die?" Silith asked gently. "Yeah," the word cracked out. "And I wasn't there." Silith's hand rested on his arm, her touch steady in a way he wasn't used to. "We carry ghosts." "You carry heavy one." Ren forced a breath. "Let's move before this station realizes I'm not supposed to be leaving." The Crow's bargain waited at Dock 47, a battered freighter held together by optimism, rust, and questionable engineering. Silith tilted her head, ears angled back. "She? Safe?" "Mostly," Ren said. "She only tries to kill us on Tuesdays." "Today Tuesday?" "Let's hope the universe forgot." They boarded quickly. Ren locked the hatch behind them, feeling the ship's familiar groan beneath his boots. The cabin lights flickered to life like a reluctant sigh. Kira touched the wall gently. "She? Breathe." Ren smiled faintly. "Yeah, she's old, but she's got a heartbeat." He rushed to the cockpit and slid into the pilot's chair, its worn seat molding around him like an old memory. The displays lit up, lines of data cascading across the screen. Silith stood behind him, watching quietly. "You fly many times through danger?" she asked. "More than I'd like," Ren replied. "And danger never gets the hint." The clamps released. The engines rumbled. The Crow shook, coughed, and finally pushed free of the station. The void swallowed them. Penn space. Cold, beautiful, indifferent. "Once we get to the nebula," Ren said, adjusting their course, "there's a sanctuary colony. Haven's End. They don't answer to the councils. We get there, get your tags removed, and you start a new life." Silith's ears rose slightly hope, flickering behind her careful expression. "You help us begin again." "Yeah," Ren murmured. "That's the idea." Silith hesitated, then asked sotily, "Ren, you come with us?" "After?" He stared ahead at the endless starfield. "I don't know if I'm good at staying," he admitted. Silith rested a hand over his. "You stay now. You stay when scary. Maybe you stay because heart chews before head." Ren exhaled, the weight of guilt loosening just a little. Behind them, Kira curled into her seat, drifting into the first peaceful sleep she'd had in years. Silith watched her, then whispered, "Thank you, human, for buying us, and not treating us like thing." Ren shook his head. "I didn't buy you. I saved you." Silith smiled softly. "No, we save each other." And for the first time in a long while, Ren believed it.